Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. And more importantly, for this one episode only, Hailey, good morning. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, Dan.
This is not a rerun. This is not something from the past.
This is real.
This
is
is
happening
real.
now.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Hailey's back. I'm sure this feeling will wear off probably pretty soon, but at least for now, it's
You're
really
excited?
fun. Yeah, it's really fun to have you back. Dan did a great job. Dan Altina filled in, and, that was all good, but it feels good to be back to normal.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of
Nothing
things.
feels normal to me anymore.
No, that doesn't matter. It's about me, Hailey, and I feel better. So that's really what I wanted to focus on. That's what I'm really focused on, period. So on the show today, we've got a lot of different things. You've learned a lot over the summer.
So much. I'm like a different person now.
Yep, she's entirely a different person. She's not near as abrasive or as grating on the personality because, man, we can be honest here. You are a grating personality, but you're better. You're softer. You're gentler.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm joking. I haven't been able to really unleash.
Yeah,
so
you're pretty pent up, so.
got a lot of venting to do. No, anyway, you had a lot of things happen, and we're going to talk about some of that, I'm sure, in this opening segment, too. But we'll be talking about some steps to getting an estimate for a new roof.
Yeah.
And it sounds like so many preliminary steps. We're talking about steps to getting just an estimate for a new roof.
But it's so important.
You found that out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really good stuff here. We're going to talk about that. And then after that, who knows? I don't know what we're going to have time for after that, but we'll find out. I'm sure it will be utterly brilliant and amazing. So right now, though, let's just welcome you back. I've already unleashed a torrent of, some positives,
Are you
negatives.
Feeling better now?
Oh, not even a little bit.
Okay.
I've got a lot left in the tank. But let's talk about it. How'd it go? I mean, you had a baby. When was Wallace born?
5:15.
In the morning?
No.
In the afternoon?
The day.
The day. Okay. So a lot of us would say May 15. That's okay.
But I like the number. Like, he chose a good date, and
Okay.
I appreciate that. I went into labor on Mother's Day, which was a really cool present. Like, having the baby on Mother's Day would maybe be the next best present, but, this was pretty good.
Yeah, see, I think this is the best because when Mother's Day comes,
True.
You're going to want that to be your day.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have this resentment.
Now it's his birthday. Jeez.
Yeah, good grief. It's about me, not about him.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So the next day is his birthday, and
So the name, Wallace?
Yeah, Wallace
What do you
David
call
Johnson.
Wallace?
I go back and forth,
Okay.
really frequently. It's either Wally or Wallace. Not when he's in trouble or anything, just normal. I just
Has
go
he
back
been
and
in
forth.
trouble already?
No. He's a baby.
If
What
he
can
can't
you do wrong?
choose to do wrong, I don't think you can yell at him. I don't think that's morally acceptable. So you haven't yelled at him yet. No, you'll send texts periodically. I was pretty good. I left you alone, didn't I?
Yeah.
I didn't hound you or be obnoxious.
No, I was surprised because...
Whoa. See, I'm a very thoughtful... You should not be surprised. This should be exactly what you expected. Kindness and consideration from me.
Well, but it is all about you.
It is, isn't it?
So...
Yeah, I had a lot of texts I deleted. No, but you would send texts back, and sometimes it was Wally did this, and then it's Wallace, and I had no idea how to refer to
how
him
I'm
anymore.
feeling.
What's that? Okay, so it's how you're feeling. So
how
we can
you're
call
feeling,
him whatever we want.
Whatever you want.
All right.
We call him Wall. We call him Wall Dog. Call him
Wall Dog.
Walrus. Call him Koala Bear.
Oh, that's pretty good. Wow. He's
Narwhal.
gonna love that in high school.
He's got all these onesies, and there was a walrus on one day. I was like, oh my gosh, walrus, you're walrus. And then there was a narwhal on another one. That's even better. Narwhal's even better. And then there was a koala bear one day, and I thought, koala bear. That's my favorite.
Yeah, he'll love that in high school. Yeah, what was your nickname? Koala Bear. Oh.
It's so cute. I love it.
He'll grow out of that, but I was always Danny. That was not near as cool, but it was still silly. And I've got a couple people that still call me that. Feels very strange. So when he's 50 years old and somebody's calling him Koala, that'll be funny. Anyway,
Can't wait.
All of that's going well. How's the whole process? I mean, becoming parents, all of that, what's that feel like?
It's weird. I mean, because it should feel like, it's overwhelming, right? But
you've
at
got
the
somebody
same
you're responsible
time,
for now.
It kind of feels like he's always been here in a way. Like,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Nope, not even a little.
No.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just feels like he's always been here. I don't know
think
how
what
to
that
explain
means
it.
is it's right.
Yeah.
It just feels perfectly
Yeah.
right. The family is
Exactly.
now it's at least the start
Yes.
of what it should be.
Yeah.
You and Jordan, I mean, it's okay,
Yeah, it was okay. You know,
but
Burger,
there's no buffer.
you know,
Now there's a
he
buffer.
did a little for us.
Burger's the cat.
cat, yeah.
We got to be specific.
Yes.
People are going to wonder about that
Burger
weird child
the
named
cat.
Burger that never gets referenced. So yeah, Burger the cat. I want to know how's Burger doing with the whole transition.
He's done better than I expected. I mean, he's used to being an only child, right? So he gets all of the attention normally. You know, he's not like a normal cat where they're a little cold. He's more dog-like in that way, where we come home and it's about him.
Sounds
and
like
now
me. I'm
it's
cat-like,
not
dog-like.
that way. You know, we're just focused on the baby. So I kind of thought he'd be a little resentful.
Yeah.
And cats, you never know. Like, they could be mean towards the
They
baby.
can go to the bathroom in your shoes. That's one of their favorites.
On your bed. I mean, there's all kinds of
there's
ways
lots of places
that they
you can go to the
retaliate.
bathroom.
Yeah. But no, he's been great, honestly. He seems to understand that Wallace is very important, and he kind of keeps his distance a little bit. He'll come up and like sniff him every once in a while, and then he quickly runs away.
Does he stink? Is that the problem?
Probably to
That why?
Burger. Yeah,
Okay,
he
stinks
probably
to Burger.
does. Yeah. He's like, what does this baby smell?
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of stinks, how about the diaper changing? How much fun has that been?
It's been good.
Oh, really? Good.
Yeah. I mean, he likes to pull pee pranks every so often.
I don't understand.
Like, the diaper's open, now we're going to pee.
Oh.
I call it a prank.
Yeah, that's-
I really think that he thinks it's funny.
When we got Caleb home, I remember we were talking about this. I remember we put him. None of my houses have ever had good lighting. Someday
Yeah.
I'll be able to see in the house. But put him in a corner. He had a little what do you call the little playpen thing? And
The
then
little
they've got
changing table?
I guess so. That'll suffice.
Sure.
So he's on the changing table. There's a light behind us, and there's my wife's changing his pant or his diaper, and there's this spider web. I can see the shadow of it, this little thin spider web, and I keep grabbing at it.
gosh.
And finally, I realize I am soaked. What is going on?
Damn.
And yes, it was that. It was a pee prank, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
He goes through like phases. Like, there's just days where like that is just what you should expect, because he clearly is just thinks this is the best thing. But then there's like whole weeks where he doesn't do it at all.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that quits. It doesn't continue on into adulthood, because it becomes less funny
Yeah.
as the years pile up. All right, so you got that all going. Everything's good in that regard. Jordan is having a ton of fun.
Yeah. Honestly, like, best dad. Wallace is the happiest baby. I mean,
Well,
I
we
think
can't
we're
all be
really
the best
lucky.
dad, Hailey. And I've already locked that title
You've got
down.
that mug.
He could be second best. Yeah, I've got the mug. I've got a plaque to go with it, and then a little trophy.
A little trophy, sure.
Yeah, with a dad throwing a kid at the air.
No, I don't know what I expected, I guess.
So it's
But
way
it's been
better
like
than the...
a really easy transition in that way. Like, I feel very lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
And I really do think that I just have the best baby as well. I think everyone
Everybody
probably
does.
feels that way, but he's just so happy. Like, he's so quick to smile and laugh, and
Maybe you guys are just funny looking.
that's possible.
It's certainly possible. Not necessarily technically likely, but really close to that.
No, I'm so excited to like see what he turns into, as time goes on.
Yeah, wait till they do, and then you'll wonder, can we chip that part off? Can we fix this? And you got to learn to just...
Oh my gosh.
No, trust me. It's all about, you see kids, they grow, they make good decisions, then they start making lousy ones, and you're trying to, how do I step in and help
can't.
without being that parent? It's all fun, though.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I've ever, I don't know that it's that I've done the best at it, but it's the favorite thing I've ever done is having kids.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we had
it's so much fun.
Twins right off the bat. So I did not transition as smoothly.
No, I don't know if anyone does in that situation. Maybe some. I don't know.
guess so. And I could have been way better. I don't know.
You were young too, though.
Not as young as I wish I, could say I was. I should have been more mature than I was. I was a little bit selfish with my time. They intruded into that.
Well, yeah, big time.
Yeah, they did. And I didn't transition very smoothly. And they scared me. They came very early.
Right.
So
yeah.
they were all
Medically
very delicate
fragile.
and very little. And oh man, so scary. Once they got to the point, I always said, when I can knock them down, not on purpose, but
yeah.
And they can get back up and they're okay, and I don't worry about something.
Sure.
That's when it became super fun, because now I didn't have to worry so much. And then I started, as time goes by, I'm still learning to be less selfish with my time. I've gotten a lot better. But yeah, it's an initial big jump, to go from that. So it's really cool to hear that Jordan has made that jump amazingly
really well.
Although it turns out this morning he took your
took
lunch.
my lunch.
Yeah, so he's not
Who
entirely
does that?
selfless. Selfish people take somebody else's lunch out of the
I
refrigerator.
really, I think there's just male brains sometimes. I think he saw the food and just assumed this is mine.
Well, did you have your name on it?
No.
There you go. It probably was his. And he deserves it. Anyway, we're going to take a break right now. I want to come back and talk about some of the things that have unfolded.
Yeah,
because
honestly, I feel like the baby is almost
the easiest
part.
Yeah, so basically, everybody buckle up, because if you like hard luck stories,
yeah, no kidding.
not necessarily with happy endings, because I don't know that we've got an ending there yet, but if you like to hear other people's sorrows and woes, you're going to love what's coming next. That's all just ahead. Stick around. And we're back. You're listening to the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Benjamin Moore. And you know what? I don't even think I announced the show name or anything in the opening segment.
You were just so excited to talk to me.
I was so excited because if you just tuned in, you're hearing Hailey, and this is like current Hailey. This isn't a past episode or a previously recorded something.
Hailey.
Yes, Hailey is back from maternity leave.
Yeah.
It's about time. She took a lot of time for herself and her family.
I took no time, baby.
And
if I were in another country, I would have gotten a year.
Well, still, it left me stranded for a while, and it's slightly
was talking
uncomfortable.
to himself all day long.
Right.
It's a real struggle for everyone.
The kids are going to be so glad that you're back.
Oh, I bet.
Because I come home after saying nothing all day long.
Right, because what people don't understand is that we don't work in like a normal office environment where you have other people that you'll just talk to instead of me if I'm gone.
Nope.
That's not the situation. It's just us.
Yeah, so it's me and four walls and the computer screen and the
I
people
should
who
have gotten
text
you
or
like
call.
a little friend, or like a stuffed animal or something to talk to.
I had a dead
while I was
mouse
gone.
that I kept for a while, but then that started to go rank, so I had to get rid of that. Anyway, you're back. You had maternity leave. We talked about the baby, the transition, how you love all of that. Even changing diapers is fun. Let's talk about, you said at the end of the last segment that having the baby was honestly the easiest part of your whole process.
It feels like the easiest part.
Because what has happened? You bought a house a year and a half ago-ish?
Yeah, in September, it'll be 2 years.
Okay.
So very soon, it'll have been 2 years. And I don't think anything can go wrong the first year after you buy a house. I think that's just like the rule. People always talk about that. Like, there's no point in having the 1-year home warranty because nothing's going to go wrong that first year.
So what if I would buy a new house every year? I would never have to deal with any kind of...
Yeah, that's probably true. You could just be a gypsy.
All right. Well, with a house.
Yeah, but if you're moving that often, I mean...
Well, sometimes, legal issues make you want to have to move. That's just a metaphor for something else.
What is happening?
Let's move away from that potentially damaging topic that's completely false and talk about what happened. You got past your first year of no problems. You just move along, Hailey. Move along.
I'm so
Act like you've seen nothing. All right. You get to the second year, and I think it made up for that first year.
Yes,
of
because
bliss.
now it's everything.
You have had, literally, it feels like everything go wrong.
Yeah, it just feels like once a week there's something new.
So what started it off?
What's
going on?
What started it? The start was I noticed the plaster on the ceiling in Wallace's bedroom. Of course, it was the baby's bedroom.
Sure.
Of course. Starts to get a little wrinkly. And I touch it, it's hard. So I think, has this always been here?
Yep.
Like, I don't know if I noticed it, but maybe it's been like this. It didn't, it wasn't soggy or anything.
Right.
And so I kind of let it go. And then, it starts to look a little worse. So I'm thinking, okay, this is fresh. There's clearly water damage. Great. this roof has got to go. I knew that it was going to happen very quickly. The inspector said, 3 to 5 years. No.
Oh, it didn't even make it that first year.
Didn't make it.
I did the first year,
Yeah,
but not
the first year,
one.
not the second. So yeah, that was the start of it. And now there's water damage in another spot. So it's just continued in a very short period of time. It's gotten really bad. Then let's see, Jordan got poison ivy. We found out that we have tons of poison ivy
in your landscaping.
In my landscaping, like in the beautiful ground cover that we have surrounding the home, there's poison ivy just sprinkled in. And
maybe it's what's making it beautiful.
No, it's
you just
not.
Don't
because I asked Jordan
it.
to pull it because I thought it was weeds.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you can imagine.
So you
what
asked
happened.
him to do this.
Yeah.
You sent him to this task of death and despair.
I was going to do it myself, and thank God I didn't. Because I can't imagine being a new mom and having poison ivy everywhere at the same time. That sounds terrible.
Or getting it on the baby.
Exactly. That's what I was so worried
Jordan
about.
can sleep outside for all anybody cares, right?
Yes. So then there's that. Then
you've got the paint. I want to quick talk about that. The ceiling.
Yes.
In Koalas's room.
Yes, we had to move him.
You have potentially lead paint underneath it all, right? So you've got that issue on top of things. When lead paint's encapsulated,
it's fine.
It's not a big deal, but when it starts to become exposed, you start to get more concerned. So that's in the baby's room of all places.
Yeah,
so he gets
to
moved
move him out.
out.
Which was a whole thing. We've got our system in there already. And so now we've got to completely uproot him. Now he's in a different room.
And you spent so much time getting the nursery all beautiful.
It was so sad to see his room emptied out. It was just like, it's heartbreaking. I spent so much time and energy making it like a beautiful space for him. And then to have this happen where he's just like not even in the room at all is really sad.
And then to know that you've got the roof hanging over your head. See what I did there? A little play on words. I was an English major. Those things are easy to me. Other people would struggle with stuff like that. I nail it. So you've got that going on. That makes it depressing.
Yes.
You've got Jordan just covered in like gooey hives and stuff.
Covered.
He's a mess. He had to go to the emergency room or the urgent care.
He got like a shot of whatever the steroids are, and then he was on steroids for like a week after that.
So you got that going on, and then mice showed up.
Yep. Seemingly only 2 of them, which I'm thankful for that. We caught them, but yeah. And then the plumbing.
Yes, I do not know about this. I knew about all those other things, but then last week Hailey texted, well, you had an accident last week.
Oh, yeah. I was in a terrible accident.
You came back for 2 days.
Yep.
And on your second day going home, I never even saw your company car. I know they got you a new company car. I saw it, but I never saw you in it.
Yeah.
And I never will.
No.
Because going home, somebody pulled out in front of you and
there was no stopping.
Yeah.
I was on Byron Road, so I was going, like 45 or 50. And just as I'm entering the intersection, someone pulls out.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can do at that point.
So totaled the car. Everybody was safe.
Yeah,
though,
everyone's
and fine.
Okay.
That was the big thing.
Yep. I'm okay. Concussion,
and then you get home, I'm checking on you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? You text back, I'm okay. Do you have a plumber's name? We don't hardly have any time left, but so now you got plumbing things too?
I do.
So if you've ever gone through the mill and you felt like, oh my gosh, what else can happen? I don't have any good answers because, you just got to deal with it. But it happens to everybody.
Email me because I need someone to commiserate with.
Well, what we're going to talk about right now, we're going to take a break. And the East Side listeners, you're going to get a RepcoLite Rewind. West Side listeners, you're going to get news and weather. When we all get back together, we're going to learn from some of the things that you're going through. You went through the whole roof estimation process.
People can learn from my issues.
We've got a lot of great info, and that's all coming up next. Stick around. Well, Hailey, we're welcoming you back. Happy that you're back from your maternity leave. We've run you through all kinds of stuff. I complimented / attacked you verbally.
Yeah, it was
all in fun, right? Right?
A confused entrance.
Yes. So we've done a lot of things. I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. I saved up over the course of the 3 months or half a year that you seem to have been gone. And I just unloaded.
I probably should have gotten earplugs before I came back.
You should have. You should have done something to prepare for what was coming. We did all of that. Last segment, we talked about all the things that went wrong in your home over the break. And right now on the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Benjamin Moore, we're actually going to talk about roofs. So I don't think we have a lot of paint stuff in today's show, but Benjamin Moore is still happy to sponsor because they know they're going to help people get their roofs figured out.
Well, and I think roofs are...
Roofs.
Roofs.
That's what dogs do. I am going to quietly Google plural of roof. You just carry on.
They can kind of be a paint topic because you've got to choose a color and it's got to work with your house color. And, you got to sample things largely. It's a whole other segment. We could make a whole paint segment out of talking about roofs, but we're not actually going to do that.
Well, and the whole idea is hiring contractors and things like that. Things to know.
That's true.
Roofs is the plural of roof in all varieties of English. Roofs is an old secondary form. So it would appear that according to the Google...
You were correct.
More correct than you. Neither one of us are wrong. It's fun to live in this zone. Neither one of us are wrong, but I was more right. Love it. Okay, so you've got to get a roof.
You Googled it.
What's that?
So glad that you Googled it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The Google is at my fingertips. I might as well look. So let's talk about this. You've got to go and get quotes, and it sounds like it might be something that's, hey, you just make a couple phone calls and you're good to go. You learned a ton of really interesting things.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to break this up into like some questions that...
I've got like my best advice.
Right. And then follow-up is going to be the questions that you should be asking. I knew there were two parts. Could have just deferred to you, but I'm used to doing this job alone, so...
It's a struggle now.
It's a struggle.
I've got to slowly get some of the reins back.
Yeah. I've been running roughshod over everything. So let's talk about your best advice.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I've got, this roof. We talked about it earlier. I moved into the house a couple years ago. I was told that I had at least 3 years left with this roof. So I was really hoping to get that amount of time at least out of it. I was going to try to push 5.
Of course.
But that was not the case. And the reason that I've got to replace it is because I've got a leak. There's plaster that's damaged. I've got, multiple places now that have water damage. Like, it's got to go. Multiple
places in the same room or different areas of the house?
Different areas of the house.
All of that is starting to come to your attention.
Exactly.
You got to get it fixed.
And I think some people might have hoped that they would just be repairing the roof. And I think that can be okay sometimes. However, this is an old roof. I knew that from the get-go. And so I could have repaired it maybe just these couple spots. And then in a couple years, I'd have to replace the entire roof. I don't really want to have to go through that process. And I think that definitely when you're getting an estimate, even if you think it's for repair right off the bat, just get an estimate to get the entire roof done and get their best advice on that, because sometimes it's really not worth waiting.
So I'm looking at your notes, and that's not even on there. So that's a freebie.
That's a freebie.
Everybody got that freebie because Hailey's back, and she's just giving out all kinds of free stuff. Some of it is advice. So there goes your first little thing.
Yes.
What's the first one on your list?
The first one on the list when you're looking for a roof estimate is research the process of getting your roof replaced before you even start calling. Honestly, I think that so many people go into these estimates probably not having a lot of the jargon or like terms that they're throwing out here, like the decking of your roof or underlayment or, even the types of specific nails that they're going to throw out there. It's nice to have some background knowledge when you're going into a conversation that's serious stuff. I mean, you're going to be spending a lot of money. So going into that with a little bit of background knowledge so that you can be a part of the conversation and not just be smiling and nodding the entire time because they're running with it, basically. Right. I mean, everything they say is going to sound good to you if you don't know what they're talking about.
Well, we joked at the beginning. I joked. Hailey laughed politely about the Google. The Google was right at my fingertips. And that plays out in this situation. You got the information out there. This isn't like it's this hill that's too big to climb or to figure out.
Yeah.
The information is right there. And even if there's going to be some people that know it back and forth, and I get that.
Right.
I would have put myself previously in that boat. I've been concerned about roofs. Now I'm all messed up. That's always been a thing because I don't want to spend all of that money. I get worried about it. And I know enough, some about it. I've been a part of replacing a roof on my previous house.
So you kind of understand.
And so I thought I kind of understood. I figured I probably don't need to look into that. But then when you started going through some of the other things and you mentioned the kinds of nails, the kinds of this and the kinds of that, I realized, okay, I would never have even asked some of those questions because I never would have thought about that.
Right.
So even if you think you're okay, it doesn't hurt. I mean, what does it take? Just a matter of reading a number of articles.
Minutes,
right.
Read through, watch a YouTube video even. If you don't want to read an article, just watch a video for 15 minutes. Watch someone do some of these things. They're going to be talking about what they're using, why they're using it. And already you've just got a little bit of an edge going into this conversation because you're going to also know the questions to ask them so that you get the best information out of that experience as well.
All right. So the very first thing, you see the problem, start doing some research.
Yeah.
So you know what you're talking about a little bit. Next one.
The next one, get multiple quotes. And I think that's probably obvious. Mm-hmm. Everyone has probably heard you should always get more than one quote for any type of job, right?
We talk about that all the time.
Anything. Always get multiple quotes. And the reason that people tell you to do that is so that you can get the best price normally. I think it's really tempting to not do that once you're in the process because while I scheduled 4 quotes for myself, after the first one, I was ready to be done.
You just connected with that person?
I connected with the person. There's a couple reasons. I think the first one was I connected and they were a really good salesman. It was a larger company. They were a little high pressure. And I realized that kind of after I was able to sleep on this for a minute. But that's not uncommon. These people are selling a very large purchase, one of the biggest purchases you're probably going to have to make for your home over the years. And they know that speed is on their side. So they're going to try to get this deal wrapped up in that first estimate meeting.
Well, they're polished. They're good at what they do. And
right.
that part of that is being a good salesperson.
Totally.
And getting multiple quotes helps you see. You mentioned sleeping on it, which is coming up later, I think.
Yeah.
But just having multiple quotes helps you realize, oh, this was a little more high pressure than this one was.
Right. You've got something to compare it to.
Right. So you've got pricing, but you've also got just a better view of the personalities that your work potentially could be working with. All of that is in your benefit.
The other thing, especially in my situation, was that it helped me understand my roof better. I actually, in that first estimate, was not told that I had original cedar shingles under my current roof. So there's no current decking. Normally on your roof, you have plywood or like OSB technically down. And then the sheathing that's going to protect that. It's like a synthetic material. And then you've got your shingles. I didn't have that. It turns out, which I found out in later estimates, that I have really old stuff on my roof. And all of that's going to have to get torn off. I have to completely redeck my entire roof. So I'm not just getting new shingles. I'm getting a brand new roof.
Well, that's going to be nice. You're going to like that. You're going to really enjoy spending all that money. But you wouldn't have known that was coming. And that's the thing. That's coming, period.
Exactly.
Whether you knew it or not. With the first estimate, it would have been a hidden cost that, look
now there's
found.
An extra $5,000 to $10,000 that you've got to spend.
Exactly. That makes the whole case right there for getting another estimate. Just making sure we're all talking about the same thing. So get multiple quotes. Definitely do that. What's next? Is that sleep on it?
Sleep on it.
On the roof.
Really
the greater the pitch, the better.
The roof.
Right.
Feel it under
your face.
Yeah.
Trying to sleep on it. No, of course it's not sleeping on the roof, right?
No.
Do not advocate that on the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show.
Maybe it's a flat
Unless there's
roof,
a flood.
But no, not even that probably. No, I say sleep on it because honestly, every single time I got a quote, I was ready to just go with that quote.
Mm-hmm. Well, you want it to be done.
Well, that's the thing too, is that these things take multiple hours. I was not
the quote
prepared
process?
For that. Yeah. So I think going in, here's another freebie. Expect this process to be very long. Do it after you've eaten dinner. Like you're going to be in for a couple-hour conversation.
But invest the time, take the time, do it.
Because it's important.
Don't let that turn you off from the process. But then take time to sleep on it.
To really think about all of these
things.
things.
Always growing up, she didn't make hardly any big decisions without sleeping on it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've employed that, and I come up with a different plan after the emotions of whatever.
Well, yes, exactly.
Have worn off.
This is emotional because it's stressful, right? You're talking about replacing this huge thing on your home. Mm-hmm. You're talking about spending a lot of money. They've got all of these reasons as to why their company is the best and why their process is the best. And it is kind of emotional. You get a little bit,
and when you cried
entranced.
As much as I cry when they talk about the money, my brain's been deprived of certain amounts of oxygen. I need to replenish that before I can make a
You're
good
dehydrated.
I'm like a shriveled little raisin of a man.
Yeah, no.
So sleep on it.
And that honestly, in the end, helped me save money. So just take the time for yourself to really process, go through all the pros and cons in your head, because there's a lot of them. It's not just the best price. And I think that is one of, maybe our inkling is to go with just the best price, right? Because it is expensive. But their warranty, their process, the customer service, who's going to be on the job site that day, all of that is worth so much money and so much peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and a lot of the prices are, they can be $2,000 to $4,000 difference, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, over the course of the lifetime of the home or the 30 years the shingles are there,
that's nothing.
It's not much compared to making sure you've made the right choice.
Exactly.
We've got time for the last one. What's your last one?
Take time to pick the color, too. And maybe this will help slow your decision down a little bit. So this could kind of work into the sleeping on it. But they're going to show you the colors that those shingles are available in. And it's going to be a little picture in a pamphlet, or maybe it's a tiny little real sample of the roof. But it's still going to be very small compared to this giant surface that's going to be covered. And just like when you're in the store and we tell you to sample your paint colors before choosing one, you should really take your time and get a large sample of whatever shingle you think you might go with and get it up on the roof.
They'll get you one?
Yeah, they'll get you. And if they don't, that might be a clue.
Okay.
Because really, that's half your house that you're going to see this color on.
And look at it in different lighting, different situations.
It's such a difference seeing something when it gets larger.
And one of the roofing
much.
companies really ran you through that. That was one of the things they focused on, is making sure. So it's not just us being color people going down some
And he actually
trail.
used paint as an example in the conversation, not even knowing, who I was
paint
or
is something
what my
that
background is.
You can redo if I hate that, with reasonable expense.
Yeah, very reasonable.
Not going to be, I don't like this green roof. Let's just rip that all off and put something new up there. So take time picking the color. At least keep that front and center.
Yes, it's an important decision.
All right, we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to work through in the last little bit that we've got
some questions
that you need to ask. That's all just ahead. Stick around. And we're back. You're listening to the RepcoLite Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Benjamin Moore. It's Hailey's Welcome Back episode. And of course, we're focused on Hailey and all the things in Hailey's life.
Aren't you so glad to have me back, Dan?
Talked about the baby and this and that, and Jordan's, your husband's poison ivy problem, and then your roof falling apart, and all the estimating that you had to get done. And what we're really focused on this last half is just giving people good advice if they're going to have to jump into that, that whole process, getting your roof estimated.
Yeah.
Last segment, we talked about a number of key things that you want to make sure you do.
My best advice during that estimate process.
Best advice. And a couple of them that are pretty good. And then right now, what we want to focus on are the main questions that you want to ask. Yeah,
while you have the estimator there in your home. These are some key questions. And there's a lot more questions that you should be asking. Write those down ahead of time. Have, a website pulled up if you need to. But definitely do your due diligence. These are just some of them that we're going to hit on. The first one, are they bonded and insured? That's a really important question because you do not want this to be your problem when someone falls off your roof.
Right. When? If. Let's not be that fatalistic. Yeah. Right.
It'll be okay.
And you want to make sure you get proof because everybody's going to say yes.
Right. Exactly. They're not going to say, well, no, this is on you.
Crazy, honest, but not very bright person. Nope. Not a chance. But most will say yes. Make sure that you see some proof to that effect.
Exactly. Are you a roofer? Dan loves this question.
Yeah. Well, I love it because it sounds ridiculous, but it's really good.
I didn't even think of it that way. But yes, obviously they're not a landscaper, but make sure the person giving you an estimate has been a roofer or are currently a roofer.
Yeah, this is by far, I think, the best of the questions because you, first off, in your research, never saw this brought up by anybody.
No.
So it's a Hailey exclusive. And secondarily, it literally happened to you that this played into it.
Yeah. It turns out that the first person that gave me an estimate in the past was an accountant for the company. They decided they wanted to be an estimator. They were trained to be an estimator, but they didn't actually catch something that would have ended up costing me $5,000 to $10,000 once they'd already started tearing my roof apart. So I would have gotten this estimate for $20,000. And then in the process of them replacing my roof, I would have found out that I had to pay another $5,000 to $10,000, which is a huge difference.
The other people were roofers. The other estimators had been roofers, and they all caught this other issue
Yes.
and brought it to your attention right away. So ask that question. Sounds silly, but I think that's a really good one.
What does the process look like? Right? So how long are they going to be there for? How many people are going to be on the site? Are they themselves going to be on site the day of? Or is there a different project manager that's going to be there that you can communicate with?
Yeah, and who is that person? What's the contact info?
Exactly.
You want to have that person right at your fingertips if questions arise.
Right. What are they going to do to protect your home during the process? How are they cleaning up? All of those things are really good to ask.
Are they going to bring a porta potty there? Do you get to use the porta potty? Should it be there? Should you want to? All of a sudden, for this week, we've got 3 bathrooms at this house. But you want to know?
Yes, you want to know.
Some people might want to know.
What is the warranty like? Obviously warranties can vary quite a bit, and a lot of them are not going to include labor in that warranty. That's going to come from the roofer themselves. That company is going to have.
Decide to do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a manufacturer's warranty that they're going to have in their brochures. That's just going to be to replace the materials if the company actually followed exactly what they were supposed to do for installation. And that could vary quite a bit. If they're not using the exact nail and the exact amount of nail on each shingle, then that warranty's voided right away.
So warranties, really, there's so many different rabbit holes we could chase down talking about that. The big thing to take away from this is ask about it and understand that just because it says 25-year, 30-year, 50-year.
Yeah, what does that actually mean?
Find out what that means. A lot of people base their decision on that number solely.
Yep.
Figure I'll be long dead by that time, so no problems. No, just ask more questions. That's really important.
What things might cause deviation from the contracted price? So they've given you this quote. Let's say they go up there and find out that you've got a bunch of OSB that's got to be replaced, or there's some flashing that needs to be replaced. How much do they charge for those things? So how much could the price go up in that case? Next one, what are your financing options? This is a big one for me. Sure. I did not have money in my budget to replace my roof. That was the furthest thing from my current situation. I had just had a baby. They are expensive. And this is really taking a toll on, our bottom line.
Well, and some companies will actually offer financing. They'll help you make that connection. Other times you just have to go through the bank and figure it out yourself.
Understand the interest rates, what's out there, what's available to you. Understand how much time you have to pay this back, because every company is going to be a little bit different. Last one here, look at some reviews. Again, do your due diligence and
the internet's there full of reviews.
Exactly.
You're foolish not to take advantage of it and check out multiple sources.
Yes, exactly, because their website is going to have reviews on it, but a lot of companies use review management systems, so you're only seeing the very best reviews. So they're going to look like a 5-star company when maybe you look on Yelp and it turns out they're maybe a 2 or 3-star company. So do your research, and I would really urge people to consider who they communicate best with as well during this quote process. This is, again, a big process. It's scary. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and you've got to make sure that you can communicate with the person that's doing the work.
Well, you're bringing a contractor into your home. We talk about that all the time with painting contractors and with any contractor. There's this big process going on, and you need somebody that you can communicate with. If you've got somebody who you struggle to make those connections with, that personal connection, but they had the best price, that still could really bite you in the long term.
Yeah, if you can't
get that
talk
person
to
that
them.
you can talk to, because there's going to be unforeseen things that happen.
Yes.
The weather's going to do this, or this is going to happen. You just want to have that relationship where you can ask your questions and get your answers in a way that you understand and in a fluid manner.
It's worth a lot.
All right, that's all the time we've got. We're going to have to wrap it up. If you want to catch this one again, you can find it online at RepcoLite.com. Whatever you do today, have a great one. Make pain a part of it. And remember, the RepcoLite stores are going to be closed on Monday, Labor Day.
Yes.
So everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. I'm Dan Hansen.
I'm Hailey Johnson. Thanks for listening.